Now, as Afrikaans reaches a century as an official language, its preservation and the preservation of the culture it represents has come to the fore. In the same vein, institutes such as the Pan-South African Language Board are on a mission to preserve the integrity of not only official but all South African languages. PanSLab Board Chairperson, Professor Lolie Makhubu-Badenhorst, joins us for a broader discussion on this. Good evening, Professor. Thank you very much for joining us on the late edition. Now, many are speaking of this being a very significant milestone in South Africa's linguistic history as we marked 100 years since Afrikaans was officially recognized as a state language today. Just your sentiments on the evolution of this language.
Well, as the Pan-South African Language Board, we're excited and we support all languages, obviously. We support Afrikaans. We are also in celebration with the people that are using the users of the language, because as the Pan-South, the mandate that we have is to support, protect all South African official languages. And Afrikaans is one of the South African official languages. So it is exciting for us as the board.
Now, yours is a very important role and mandate, as you say, which is to protect and support all languages of the country. Language is inextricably linked to our identity, but many have spoken of not only Afrikaans having a rich heritage, but also its diversity, which also speaks to the complexities in contemporary South Africa. How, in your view, do you believe, or as PanSLab, how should South Africans, modern day South Africa, how should they navigate those complexities? Because there's never a time when some don't celebrate Afrikaans, but then there are also those who remind many of Afrikaans having been used as a tool for oppression in apartheid South Africa. So how do we navigate those complexities, as many say, because we need to continue to celebrate this specific language, which is spoken by a significant amount of citizens, 7 million to be exact, in South Africa?
Well, I think the first thing is that we as South Africans, we need to make sure that we understand that we are talking about the language. If you focus on the language, not the people per se, all the languages are equal and there's nothing wrong with the language per se. However, the problem starts when one language is imposed or used at the expense of the other languages. I think as South Africans, if we all embrace languages, the diversity of our cultures and what each culture, what each language brings on the table, then we should be able to say that, you know what, we are focusing on the language, not the people per se for now, but our mandate as PanSouth, we are looking at the language itself, and the language is rich, and the language has developed over a period of years, and our other South African languages can learn a lot from Afrikaans. And to say that people, we understand whatever issues that are there, however, the focus should be on language, not on the people. And lastly, to say, when I just say that, in soccer, for instance, they say you must play the ball, not the man. So that's my personal view, that we shouldn't be playing the man here. We should be looking at the focus at the language itself, and that is what we do as PanSLab.
Professor, then to the balance or need to balance linguistic inclusivity, but also recognizing heritage. We know what happened with Stellenbosch, where they opted to drop Afrikaans. How can a balance be struck here, where you preserve not only just Afrikaans, but all languages, as you've stated, but also understanding the need for inclusivity?
Well, I'm glad that you're touching on in higher education, which is also where I am. In higher education, the language policies, I'm not sure if you are aware that, the Department of Higher Education and Training, DHET, has ring-fenced some money to assist universities, all public universities in the country, to align their language policies with the new language policy framework that was promulgated in 2020. So if the language policies of each university are revised and aligned so that all languages enjoy the benefit of being equal and they are at par with the other languages. You understand that, English is leading in terms in academia, but then we also want to bring forth the other languages. Even Afrikaans itself is nowhere near English itself. So we need to develop it on its own alongside with the other indigenous languages of South Africa.
All right, Professor, thank you very much for your time this evening. That was Professor Lolie Makhubu-Badenhorst speaking to us there from PANSALB. She's the board chairperson.